A special episode of Premier Preps this week. We've got highlights from both the small and large school Optimist girls volleyball all-star games from Folsom Lake College, a special guest interview with Brooklynn Nordquist of Pondo flag football, and we're going to give you our top 50 plays of the fall season. You are watching Premier Preps. Welcome to another episode of Premier Preps. I'm Nick Pecoraro. Thank you, as always, for subscribing and hanging out with us every Sunday here on YouTube. We hope you had an amazing and safe holiday, hopefully spending time with some loved ones. That's what we were doing here at Premier Preps this week. So instead of your normal highlights, we are bringing you a special Best of the Fall Season episode. And we're going to bring you our top 50 plays of the fall season. We have a special guest interview with the Sacramento Bee Flag Football Player of the Year, Brooklynn Nordquist of the Ponderosa Bruins. But first, we do have actual game highlights this week. It's the annual Optimist All-Star Girls Volleyball Games held on December 15th at Folsom Lake College, where the best of the best graduating senior players from throughout the region take to the court in their high school colors one last time. Two games to highlight here, the large schools game and the small schools game. Check it out. The annual Optimist All-Star Girls Volleyball Games at Folsom Lake College. You know what we need to start this highlight is a worm-off between Vista Del Lago's Ella Triplett and Pondo's Rylan Hooker, and Triplett takes it. We are off to a great start here. Small schools up first. The South comes out swinging. Rosemont's Clara Belknap coming right into your kitchen. But the North responds with Jaden Hoffman of East Nicholas. More than 1,500 career kills for the Spartans, and she's got a few all-star kills now to that tally. The North ties things up at 8 apiece. Nevada Union's Taryn Parmenter hits the deck to keep it alive for Sutter's Lola Housley, but the South makes a push. Vacaville Christian's Olivia Kutch had 4 straight kills late in the first, and then in extras, Vanden's Piper Olson tells Ponderosa's Sam Hawley, "Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. You know I got it." The South takes the first set 26-24. Switching sides for set 2, Rosemont's Clara Belknap is just 5'4", but she can touch some sky. 388 kills this year for the Wolverines. More on her later. The North trying to make a move now as Wheatland's Callie Banuelos gets in on the fun off the feed from Bear River's Taryn Cleek, but a pair of Liberty Ranch Hawks start taking over for the South. First, Rachel Smith helps out on the block, and then she goes headhunting with the double tap. And then her teammate Peyton Snow getting her some, going down the line, giving the South a 7-point lead. And the North keeps it tight as Roseville's Megan Newton and Madeline Magnani team up for a big block. But set 2 is closed out 26-24 on an ace from Pondo's Rylan Hooker. Nice serve from the UNR commit, and the South goes up 2-0. In the third, Peyton Snow with a snowball checking in on someone's dental plan. But Sutter's Lola Housley returns the favor, and again, it's a tight contest throughout the third. Great hustle here from the North in this rally. Wheatland's Kamiko Cervantes and East Nick's Jaden Hoffman scramble to get it over, but Vanden's Piper Olson catches everyone out of position with a sneaky dump shot, and the South sweeps the North. Jaden Hoffman of East Nicholas is the North MVP, while Rosemont's Clara Belknap takes the honor for the victorious South.
It was a lot of fun playing with people that I've played against and who are great players, and it was just a great time. I put a lot of work into this season, and then getting chosen for All-Stars, which is something I've wanted to do since I was a freshman, seeing my brother play in the All-Stars, and so it meant a lot.
Time now for the large schools game. We've got section champions, league MVPs, Division I commits all over the court in this one. The absolute best of the best from your upper division schools. No worm battles to start this game, however. That's all right, though. We go ahead and start things off in the first set. The North team on the far side of the net, and this was a familiar sight all year for the Folsom Bulldogs. Grace Port sets Lindsay Olson, a big reason for the Bulldogs winning 32 games this year. But the South claps back. Lillian Ricks of Pleasant Grove, she and Lindsay Olson are going to be teammates at San Francisco State next year. More from the North, though, as Granite Bay's Abigail Gottwalls, a Vanguard commit, hammers one home. And we're all square at 20 apiece when Oak Ridge's Riley Elliott tools one off the block. But the South pulls out the first set win, 25-22, as Grace Carollo of Christian Brothers has an ace up her sleeve. South up 1-0. Switching sides for set two, more Christian Brothers. Kamaya Harris somehow threads the needle between two blockers to bang this point home. And then Pleasant Grove's Isis Castile, the Norfolk State commit, going tool time. That gives the South a comfortable lead, and they would go ahead and close this thing out 25-15. As Reagan Deneen of Christian Brothers puts it away. There were 5 Christian Brothers Falcons in this game, and they've got the South up 2-0. But the North would not go away quietly. Oak Ridge setter Avery Town starts going to town. She went to battle against some SFL opponents like Lindsay Olson of Folsom and Del Oro's Grace Cool. Well, now she gets to set them in the All-Star game, and the North takes a 26-24 win in set 3. To the fourth now, Grace Port hits the deck and gets it up for Wood Creek's Taylor Rice, who finishes the job for the point. And the North has all the momentum right now, but PG's Lillian Ricks takes it right back for the South. Ricks had herself a nice little all-star game. More from Christian Brothers. UC Davis commit Faith Rab Patterson. Man, that is just rude right there. The South is trying to make a push, but the North ties things up at 2 games apiece as Taylor Rice fires a rocket off the block, and we are going 5. In the 5th, South on the near side, Amy Ito of Vision's Early College Prep in the house, sneaking a point past the North. We're all knotted up at 13, but Folsom's Maddie Seabury wasn't playing around in the 5th. The South would force extra points, but on match point, Rockland's Mackenzie Murphy sets Taylor Rice for the win, and that is what an all-star game should look like, folks. A 5-set banger goes to the North. Amy Ito of Visions Academy named the South MVP, while Avery Town of Oak Ridge wins it for the victorious North.
It was hard playing with each other for the first time. Getting connections with my hitters was definitely really challenging at first. Once we started picking up our passing, everything fell into line. We were working on our free ball play that we practice at practice. We gotta have fun playing this game. It's a lot of our last time playing volleyball, so feels great.
You know that feeling when you win it all? When you become a champion. Now you can celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship rings. Bob Sebring has designed custom championship bling for more than 30 years and has been the trusted source for crafting priceless jewelry that tells the story of your team's championship journey. From football in the fall to baseball in the spring and everything in between, Premier Championship Rings has designed rings for dozens of local high school programs and even at the collegiate, pro, and youth levels as well. Whether it's a section, regional, or state title, Premier Championship Rings has you covered. So when your team wins the big game, you know what time it is. That's right, it's time to put a ring on it. Celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. We have a special guest this week on Premier Preps, and it is none other than the quarterback of the undefeated girls flag football section champion Ponderosa Bruins, Brooklynn Nordquist. What an amazing season the Bruins had with BK at QB1. We actually got to surprise Brooklynn with a major individual honor for the season that she put together in her senior year. Nordquist to McFarland for the 4th time on Saturday. 6 touchdown passes for Nordquist as Ponderosa goes 25-0 and finishes the season as the only unbeaten team in the SAC-JOAQUIN section. All right, my next guest led her flag football team to a perfect 25-0 season this year. The Ponderosa Bruins came out of nowhere to take the SAC-JOAQUIN section by storm, and they went wire to wire, finishing off with a section championship. I am excited to have the quarterback for that team as my next guest, Brooklynn Nordquist. Thank you for joining me on Premier Preps.
Thank you for having me.
Well, how have things been since that championship game on November 9th? Have things kind of sunk in yet?
Yeah, it's definitely like it's almost like it's not really gonna hit you until like you're older, and it's almost like this feels natural. Like I'm just playing like the sport that I like, and just like you just play sports every day, so it's almost like it was just another game that I just played.
I think I asked you this after that game, but you know there was a lot of girls on your team who played other sports with each other. You have that familiarity with each other, and you kind of knew what kind of athletes you had going into this season, but did you have any clue that you could do what you guys did this year?
No, I honestly didn't really think that we could do it. Like I knew we would be good. I didn't think that we could not lose a single game. It's just crazy to like think about like when we would we had these like practices during the summer, and it was just like we all kind of just were there and we just kind of messed around. Like we didn't really take anything seriously, and then just like to have a perfect season is just crazy.
What fueled you guys the most this year?
I think people having doubt in us and just people not believing in us and that we could do something so special for our community.
So at what point of the year did you guys start to feel like, you know, okay, maybe we got something special here. Maybe we can win a championship. At what point of the year did you guys start to feel like that?
I think towards like the middle, when we like a little before league, I think we played, I think it was like Del Campo or something, but I think it was like Del Campo. Or like, we're nervous for that game. And like our coaches, they're like, this is going to be the best team that you've played all season. And just for us to like almost blow them out, it's just like, it was just like crazy to me to like think that like our team could do that. And that's when I think I knew that we could do something special.
Well, you guys certainly had something special. You guys were very fun to watch this year. And so I don't know if you know this or not, but in addition to what I do with coverage for Premier Preps, I also help out with coverage for the Sacramento Bee. And what we like to do at the end of the year is make an all-metro team. It's the second year that we've done this for flag football. I reached out to a bunch of coaches in the area, you know, asking them to nominate players for who they think is worthy of an all-metro nod. And I asked them to talk about players who they played against who they thought would be worthy of an all-metro nod. And it was overwhelming. People responded with, that QB from Pondo is really good. Brooklynn, the real reason why I wanted to bring you on here on Premier Preps this week is to tell you that you are the Sacramento Bee Flag Football All-Metro Player of the Year.
Thank you.
Did you have any idea?
I read about it on Max Preps yesterday, but honestly, I was like, one of my friends on the team texted me when I was in class, and I was just so shocked. Like, I know that my coaches believed like I would, like they believed that I was going to be, but the amount of times like things have been taken away from me for like basketball and stuff for just like different reasons. It's just, I always kind of had that like doubt in myself that it's like, is it really going to happen? But it finally did happen.
Well, congratulations. It was very, very well earned and very well deserved. What does something like this mean to you? I know it's a team sport, but what does an individual honor like this mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It's just like, I don't know. It does really mean a lot to me. It's just like, it's almost just like, it's like crazy to even like think about like just a kid who's like always liked football can be player of the year. Just is just crazy.
Tell me about your football background. I understand because I talked to Coach Escobar, and he said that you were the quarterback for the junior Bruins football team. Is that right?
Yeah, when I used to play tackle football when I was younger, and then I stopped when I dislocated my elbow because it would just hurt every time. And then we had powder puff fighter school, and I always loved that, even though it was only a week. But I always loved playing it. And then when we said that we had a flag football team, I was so excited to play.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you had that opportunity, and it's too bad that you had to wait for your senior year, that you only got 1 year to do it. But man, the way you shine this year, I believe you were the only player in the section who was in the top 10 in passing yards, rushing yards, and defensive interceptions, and that's it's quite an accomplishment there.
Player of the year right there.
When you look back at all of that, like, what do you feel like you're most proud of with this season?
Probably just like the ability to like find my like open girls like when I'm under pressure. Like people don't really talk about like how hard it is to like the rushers coming at you at 7 yards away. That's like the smallest amount of time that you get, and like just having to like get yourself extra time, and just like being able to like after you look one way, you have to look the other way to see if there's someone else open when there's a girl running at you.
Yeah, they say the quarterback is the toughest position to play in all of sports, and I imagine that it doesn't matter if it's in tackle football or flag football. It's an intimidating presence to have to occupy. You obviously exemplified that position very well, but you're also a multi-sport player at Ponderosa too. You play basketball, you play softball, you've won section championships in softball as well, and I hear you're into motocross as well.
Yeah, I love riding dirt bikes.
How long has that been going on?
Since I was a kid, and when like COVID happened, everything like shut down. So I stopped playing basketball, and I just started riding motocross more, and I just fell in love with it. And then I wasn't going to play basketball. I probably wasn't even going to play any sports in high school, and then my mom told me I was, so I had no idea.
I imagine the motocross kind of helps with your quick decision making as a quarterback.
Yeah, it definitely helps because you have to pay attention to everyone that's around you when you're racing people.
So do you have a favorite sport to play out of everything that you do?
Honestly, I'd probably say flag football. If like I know it's like new for like college, but if I could play in college, I would probably play over basketball. It's just such a fun sport, and it's like it's not as much running either. But it's just like everyone like always has fun because it's just like something new that no one really like has ever done before. So it's just like fun to be around.
That's awesome. I can definitely see you playing at the next level in some sport. I mean, speaking of that, like, do you have collegiate plans just yet, or have you gotten recruiting interest, or what's going on there?
I'm gonna stay home for my first 2 years. I'm gonna go to Year College and play there, and then I'll transfer out of there to whatever school.
Right on. Maybe there will definitely be some flag football programs coming up at the college level by then.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Flag football is definitely something that I feel like everyone should experience. Like it's just such a fun sport, and like even when people don't know what they're doing, like they still have fun.
Yeah, you had a great season, and again, congratulations on All Metro Player of the Year, Brooklynn Nordquist. There she is, folks, a section championship softball player first a couple years ago. Now she's a section championship with a perfect 25-0 record in flag football. Again, the 2024 Sacramento Bee Flag Football Player of the Year. Brooklynn Nordquist, thank you so much for hanging out on Premier Preps. You are obviously welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
LENIE'S Pictures is your go-to site for priceless photos and memorabilia. This local family business has captured great action shots for a decade, but there's so much more to offer with a personalized touch for team and individual photos, game day galleries, banners, yard signs, festive mementos for senior nights, team banquets, or even just to cheer your kid on at their games. All 100% custom made by LENIE'S Pictures. Any student, any season, any occasion. So make those memories last forever and visit LENIE'Spictures.com and use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. That's LENIE'Spictures.com, your official photography sponsor for Premier Preps.
I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my OG sponsor, Infinite Performance Physical Therapy, who stepped up and became the first sponsor for Premier Preps this season. What we do wouldn't be possible without the support of people like Dr. Janae Young, who does an amazing job working with local student athletes, providing sports-specific training and programs for injury prevention and rehab. Make sure you connect with Infinite Performance Physical Therapy, and they will take great care of you. Now, Infinite Performance usually brings us our plays of the week every week here on Premier Preps, but since this is a special episode, we're going to go a little bit bigger and give you the top 50 plays of the fall season. That's right, football, flag football, and girls volleyball. There were so many to choose from, and we narrowed it down to this group right here, the top 50 plays of the fall season presented by Infinite Performance Physical Therapy. And this is the big blow right here. Rams punting to Isaiah Rodriguez. We called him Isaiah Ankle Snatchers last year. He doesn't quite collect any here, but he does what he has to do for a 51-yard punt return. 12 Bridges leads 37-7 before halftime. But Pondo's still marching on this drive. Nordquist to Thomas. A great catch going to the ground. A little play action. Kaylee Foray to the end zone. Off of some Rockland fingertips and into the hands of Mia Toy. Just toying with Rockland's emotions. And Oak Ridge's Isaac Pierce takes over from here. He fumbles the ball initially, but then he is gone. Weaving through traffic, he makes about 8 dudes miss tackles, and he puts Oak Ridge in front 13-0 with a 55-yard punt return. And you know, stops are hard to come by when Kaya Diedrichs has the ball. She goes left to right, north to south, touchdown Falcons, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Colfax goes on to win 33-13, and then Avery Masters with a little no-look wizardry. Nice touch by the sophomore. She's got Ivy League schools on her radar, by the way. And you know what? Anytime you hit the floor to save a point, you're probably going to make it on Premier Preps. Michelle Sam's getting dirty. She keeps it alive for Claire McDaniel, who cashes in on the point. On the ensuing Falcons drive, check out this catch from CB senior Alea Harmon, who goes up and just high points that thing. Now, right before halftime, we had to put this play in there. Mikey Cunningham, numero UNO, with the incredible concentration off of the tip pass. On the Trojans' next drive, Ella Cottrell and Laurel Smart with the tricks, and Ava Edwards with the treats. A 22-yard pass on the reverse handoff, and the Trojans lead 13-6. The first point of the game, some hustle from Rockland libero Mackenzie Murphy, hitting the floor and keeping the play alive for Gianna Bogan. The point goes to the Thunder. Now check out M on this next play. Lulu was going cuckoo, snatching some ankles along the way, picking up a few more yards. Oak Ridge trying to get something going, but there goes that Miss Meyer again. Madeline Meyer with her second pick of the game. She returns it inside the Trojan 20. But Jaden Jackson says, I'll take this one from here. Welcome to my spin class. Panthers lead Balloons to 35-14. Murchison was playing a little D too. Check out this interception. He somehow comes down with it for his second pick of the night, and Wood Creek is rolling. But PG's not going away quietly. They'd make St. Francis work for it. Jordan Bowman with one of her 11 kills. But not so fast, says Casa Roble. Final seconds of the third. Aiden Lopez on fourth down with a 31-yard heave to Connor Campbell. The touchdown and two-point try is good, and it's back to a one-score game. On the very next drive, Aletha Singleton takes it right back, and she makes it hurt. a 19-yard pick six for the girl with the binky for a mouthpiece. But then disaster strikes for Roseville. Mason Cisneros pass pinballs off of two players, and Deacon Ogden is Johnny on the spot. He snatches the ball out of the air, and he is gone. A 55-yard pick six for Deacon Ogden. Matadors punting on their first drive, and Lincoln capitalizes on that as well. Check out Aiden Mall. He zigs right, he zags left. He finds some daylight for a 46-yard punt return, and just like that, it's 14-0 Zebes. By the way, if you haven't heard about Brooklynn Nordquist by now, that's your bad. Here she is with the pick, and Pondo coach Steve Montoya has a PSA for you.
Player of the year right there.
First quarter, the Huskies come out a-barking. Check out Presley Wells with the good hands, Leah Hobby with the touchdown pass, and it's 6-0 Houston. His quarterback, Kalani McLeod, takes over from here. McLeod, one of the section's top passers, finds Chris Clark for a 26-yard score, especially after what he saw with his backup, Shiron Crump. On his first snap, he heaves a touchdown pass 35 yards to Kobe Shabazz. What a night for the Pacers. But Rockland's going to come out firing in the second half. Check out this BB from Robin Nguyen. Livy Mayama going up to get it. Now, I don't know how many people are going to go up and block a 6'6" player like Smith, but Chloe Lester can put that in her bag now. Now, Daisy can play some defense too. This is her 10th interception of the year. She gives her team another chance to put some points on the board. But the Marauders weren't even close to being finished in the first half. Check out this run from Chris Effeyong Jr. Effeyong with a couple of stiff arms on his way to a 60-yard score. Effeyong went for 108 yards on just 3 carries on Friday. To the D1 volleyball final, St. Mary's. McKenna McIntosh had 38 kills in the championship game, but it was the hustle play that kept this point alive. The Rams go back-to-back, by the way. Some third quarter showtime from the Rhinos now. Flea flicker alert. Flaherty to a wide open Isaiah Rodriguez from 41 yards out, and 12 Bridges is starting to feel it. 37-21 Rhinos. But Sutter wasn't going away. Check out this trickery from Taylor Palmer. The no-look dump-off from the 6-foot sophomore. We've got a tight one in the second. You know, if this football thing doesn't work out for Ryder Lyons, he'd be a world-class tag player. Nobody's touching him, and he finds Tupou in the end zone for the 3rd time in the first half. Ziegler doesn't like what she sees at first, but what she does like is this 25-yard gain to Nikki Nguyen, who hauls in a nice catch. In comes Zayden Maxwell, has to spin backwards to catch this pass. He's got the good hands, though, as Indercombe wins 27-21. Vacaville looking to get on the board, and they do just that. Bella Salias with a perfectly placed ball for Marley Wapple for a 23-yard score. We go to McClatchy flag football, where Brianna Kimmins puts her defender on skates, complete with the spin cycle. How about the Folsom Bulldogs' Cam Totten, who transforms into a brick wall? Man, I'm sore after watching that hit. More sack high in the third. Check out this catch from Jamel Eddings. In double coverage, not a problem. That extends the Dragons' lead to 33-22. Nguyen looking downfield, but it's picked off by Peyton Hyde. She had a pick the last time Premier Preps saw Del Oro. She loves it when we come out there, and she's got a brand new dance. But on the next Wood Creek drive, Devereaux, who happens to be completely blind in her left eye, by the way, able to locate Ryan Nyer in the end zone. They say that sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Well, in this case, it's a little bit of both. Wood Creek, Sienna Riddell with the hustle play, and Samantha Campanale with the finish, putting it where they ain't. But the Lions go right back to work, feeding the ball to Jordan Beers, shown here looking quite stout. But the Dragons waste no time in answering back. You know, some people like to kick returning habits. Well, Demarie Taylor is making a habit of returning kicks. 74 yards to the crib, and just like that, we're all knotted up at 7 apiece. The Falcons answer back, though. Here's Gabriella Devlin just going right through the teeth of the Wood Creek defense. A 55-yard house call for Devlin, and we're all knotted up at 7 apiece. Del Oro's defense came to play on Tuesday. Juliana Balam off the tipped pass comes down with the INT, and the ball goes back to the Golden Eagles. If you leave the lid off of the cookie jar, Faith Rab Patterson is going to eat. That's right, a little head tap for you. Even the Falcons student section agrees. Final drive, Rosa looking for 6, but Matthew Marquez with a tremendous breakup in the end zone. And the D1 flag football final, a thrill of a finish between Oak Ridge and Del Oro, and the Golden Eagles go back-to-back thanks to this go-ahead touchdown from Bella Von Seipler. Luke Alexander is so poised in the pocket, and why wouldn't you be when you got weapons like Kobe Shabazz, the sophomore with a beautiful grab to extend the drive for this. Another sophomore making a big play when it matters most, Zoe Edwards. Not sure how he makes this catch, and the Grant Pacers go back-to-back and claim their 10th overall blue banner. What a game.
Can't get enough high school sports in Sacramento? Well, Premier Preps has got you covered like no one else. You want game highlights? We got you. You want local insight? We got you. You want inspirational feature stories? We've got you. How about exclusive interviews with prominent players and coaches in the area? We got you. Scores, updates, top plays, and much, much more every Sunday at 5 o'clock during the high school season on YouTube. We look back at the week that was and keep you updated on who's got next. So follow along on social media and subscribe on YouTube to Premier Preps with me, Nick Pecoraro, because it's giving Sacramento high school sports the coverage it deserves. Before we go, I want to once again send a huge thank you out to my sponsors here at Premier Preps, Dr. Janae Young at Infinite Performance Physical Therapy for bringing us our plays of the week every week, Aline Salerno and family at LENIE'S Pictures for being the official photography sponsor of Premier Preps and bringing you our big picture top 10 lists each week. Visit LENIE'Spictures.com for your photo packages, team and individual banners, custom yard signs, and much more. And of course, a big shout out to Bob Sebring at Premier Championship Rings, the go-to source for amazing custom jewelry for championship teams right here in the SAC-JOAQUIN section. Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. And of course, thank you for subscribing to Premier Preps and following along each week. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and thousands more on social media. Hey, if you like what you see each week here on Premier Preps, then help spread the word. If you would like to help support the show as a sponsor or a donor, my email is at the end credits here in just a moment, or you can message me directly on social media. We as a community can help build this thing together and keep Sacramento area high school sports covered in a way that it deserves. That's it for the final episode of 2024. We truly hope you had a great holiday and have a safe and happy new year. I'm Nick Pecoraro. Thanks again for watching. We will see you in 2025. Night night.